Was at S2 yesterday? It looked like there were a couple of fairly scary-looking injuries. Do you know how Rusty and what was it, Johnson, I guess, came through?
I think they're both okay. I think Olex was a high ankle sprain. I don't know exactly the details of Rossi's injury.
And what did you? It didn't look like got much work. But what did you think of Miller?
He didn't get much work. I think you were right with that, but he did what he had to do well. Obviously, you can see that he kicks the ball fairly well, but I thought he was in control of his defense, handled a corner late in the game really well, but really didn't have any shots to face.
How's Steph feeling?
Feeling better, feeling better, so we'll see how this week progresses.
Do you expect him to be a possibility for this weekend, or is he maybe another week away?
No, definitely a possibility for this weekend.
Went with the same lineup, well, besides goalkeeper in Chicago. Did you consider doing any more serious tweaks, or did you really like how they had performed last week against DC?
I thought we played well against DC, especially when it was even numbers early on, but as well as we played against DC early on, that's as bad as we played early on against Chicago. So it was very disappointing that the group, was that off in their performance in comparison to what they had done the week before. You're trying to build on that, and we didn't build on that. So, we all have to look at it. Did we train too hard? Did we not do the right things in training? I got to look at that, because ultimately I'm the guy responsible.
Was there any particular area of the game where you guys specifically dropped off, or was it just a full team-wide thing?
We didn't keep possession of the ball. We didn't work hard enough up front.
And then the Western Conference is getting pretty tight. I think 2 points separate first and sixth right now. I think everybody expected it to be competitive. Did you expect it to be this even this late in the year?
Probably didn't expect it to be this even. I think, obviously if we would have had not the run of injuries we had, I think maybe there'd be a little bit different story for us at this point, but it is what it is, and we have to deal with that reality. So it's a very tight conference. It's fortunate for us right now because everybody's sort of taking points off of each other as well. So we got to make sure that we got a conference game this week with Colorado, and it's important that we get 3 points.
And starting to look towards maybe the playoff picture a little bit, how much does it change the dynamic having only 2 teams get automatic buys now that the drop between 2 and 3 seems to be a little bit more significant now?
Yeah, before it was between 1 and 2. So, there's always going to be a drop in every standing, and especially if you give some teams a bye in the first round. So, for us right now, the most important thing is you got to get into the playoffs. You can't win the MLS Cup unless you get into the playoffs, and so we've got to put ourselves to get into the playoffs. And secondarily, if we can get in one of the top 2 spots, that's the secondary goal.
And how was Freeberg, and what might be expected of him when?
Doing better. He had a good week of training while we were gone. Worked well today. Talked to him a little bit. He feels, fitness-wise, he told me where he feels at right now. So just needs more touches. Feels that he needs to get around the ball a little bit more today. Training involved a lot of touches. So we'll see how he does tomorrow, and we'll make a decision as we move forward in this week.
You often say that when starters aren't available, it's an opportunity for the second guys to step up, particularly with your attacking guys. Have they, and is there any sort of plan C other than just waiting for your starters to get back?
No, I think obviously when you look at our goal production, the goal production hasn't been there, and so again, it's are we not putting them in the right situation? So that's something, the first arrow falls to me and points at me, and so that's what I got to make sure that I'm working on with the team. The second one is they have to deal with their own performance and not producing. And right now our leading goal scorer is Tyrone Mears, and so while we've had the injuries, and so we need other people to step up. So does that mean making some changes, changing some things around, putting some people on the bench, giving even some other guys a go? Maybe that's what needs to happen.
Get to watch either of the games yesterday, back home in time to see either of the MLS games?
Got back home in time, but I watched S2, so I didn't watch those games.